Hello, friends. Today I'm going to tell you about the famous scientist who has come down to the present day with his works, and that person is Leonardo da Vinci. Let's start without further ado. Leonardo was born in Anciano, near the town of Vinci, as the out-of-wedlock child of a young notary, Ser Piero da Vinci, and Caterina. The origin of his mother is not clearly known. According to Martin Kemp and Giuseppe Palanti, she is a local Italian, and records of her life in Italy have been found, and it is said that she may have been a Circassian or Middle Eastern slave. His father married his first wife, Albira, the year Leonardo was born. Leonardo was taken care of by his mother when he was a baby. When his mother married someone else and decamped to a neighboring town, he began to live in his grandfather's house, which his father rarely visited, occasionally going to Florence to his father. He was accepted into the family because he did not have children from his father's first wife, but he did not receive love from anyone in the family except his uncle Francesco. I can tell you as follows, dear friends. In fact, in order to stay in memory in a better way, Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci is the most important artist of the Renaissance period. With his groundbreaking works in the fields of painting, sculpture, science, architecture, engineering, music, and anatomy, he is considered one of the inventors and geniuses, and among his most well-known works are works such as the Mona Lisa, which is considered one of the most expensive works of art in the world, the Last Supper of the Man of Vitruvius Deck. I would like to tell you about the art life as follows, and I will really attract your attention and give you, dear viewers, information that you will be very surprised. In 1482, he left Verrocchio and went from Florence to Milan to make a new start. As an artist and engineer, he entered the service next to Ludovico Sforza, who was recognized as the second Moro in Milan. His first work in Milan was the Madonna of the Cliffs painting, which will form the middle part of a large altar board for the chapel of the Church of San Francesco Grande, dated 1483. Of course, he wasn't staying with this on the one hand. Leonardo designs the decorations and costumes used in the ceremonies and city festivals of the Sforza family, and also works as a military engineer and architect, designing building flying machines and weapons. And it should not be forgotten that he was the first to draw modern helicopters' bridges. His investigations for figure sketches increased Leonardo's interest in the human body and therefore in anatomy. And in the 1480s, Leonardo began to focus on his scientific and anatomical studies. At the end of 1480, for the first time, the proportions of the human body made studies on anatomy and physiology, which is interesting. But isn't it Leonardo had also started taking notes on his thoughts in all areas during the Milan period? Since he was left-handed in both his drawings and writings, he could take notes from left to right. And he was also a genius at painting with one hand, and when we started researching, we could actually understand how smart he was. And this way of writing also prevented ink from smearing. In 1472, Leonardo was admitted to the Florentine Guild of Painters and Sculptors. At this time, he was still working with Verrocchio. During this period, his master Verrocchio received an order for a painting on the baptism of Jesus. Verrocchio gave Leonardo the task of painting the face of one of the angels in this painting. This angelic figure attracted so much attention thanks to Leonardo's own unique technique that Verrocchio said that he stopped painting because of his student's talent. And Leonardo was doing very remarkable and actually troublesome jobs at that time, spending a lot of time on anatomy out of curiosity and ambition to learn aiuriordo. He was going to cemeteries, examining more human bodies and cut and dismembered organs, taking notes by pages. During this period, Count Francesco Melzi, the 15-year-old son of a Lombardy aristocrat, began working in the artist's workshop as a student. Melzi later became one of Leonardo's closest friends. Leonardo was far from being limited to art, and his interests were really broad, covering almost the entire physical world. Let's talk about the works of Leonardo that have survived to this day and are still being researched and have not yet come to a conclusion. The Mona Lisa, the first of them, is a world-famous painting and has been brought up to date with numerous theories and interesting inferences. When we examine the painting in detail, we see a woman sitting calmly with her hands on top of each other. The woman's different emotional states, which seem to be smiling and sulking, are also an important indicator of the crane's ability. In addition, the painting of the woman's eyes looking directly at the person examining the painting also causes it to look as if she is constantly watching the environment with the gaze of the Mona Lisa, and at the same time, curiosity about who Mona Lisa is another element related to the painting. It is still not clear who this woman really is and why Da Vinci painted her. Although there are different opinions and theories, no definite conclusion has been reached. According to popular belief, Leonardo da Vinci painted Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a merchant. Some have claimed that it is Isabella of Aragon or Cecilia Gallerani, Duchess of Milan, and some researchers have also suggested that the painting is based on more than one person. According to these researchers, one of these people is Mont Salai. At the same time, Da Vinci's painting Mont Salai and the Mona Lisa have many things in common. Another claim is that the name of the Mona Lisa is an anagram. When the locations of the letters are changed, Mont Salai can be written, and when we examine the table carefully, we see the number 72, and according to Kabbalah, this number represents the creation of 7 worlds, and 2 represent the decadence and unification between man and woman. Here was such a smart and creative man, Leonardo, of course, not only with this work. The Last Supper is a painting full of mysteries like the Mona Lisa, and it is so mysterious that although research has been conducted to this day, its secrets have still not been finalized more clearly. Let me tell you about this work in a moment. The painting actually deals with a very dramatic moment. The night before his capture by the Roman soldiers, Jesus gathers at a dinner table with his 12 apostles for the Last Supper. At the moment when the painting was painted, Jesus said that one of the 12 apostles would betray him. The movement of the whole table, the astonishment and the calmness of Jesus are among the details that make the picture the most famous. Leonardo da Vinci has left his mark on art history by managing to reflect the whole spirit of the story into his painting. Although Leonardo da Vinci comes to mind first when it comes to the Last Supper, dinner paintings are very famous during the Renaissance. Leonardo had met many times before with the dinner paintings that artists made at the height of their career. Florence has a lot of dinner paintings, but the fresco made by da Vinci has left its mark on the whole world. All the turmoil, betrayal, confusion, and unexpected moments in his work are reflected as if they were a movie frame. The Last Supper is a popular religious scene that has been performed again by many famous artists. Da Vinci, unlike other artists, preferred not to put a face on Jesus. According to what is known, Leonardo da Vinci, who believed in nature and not God, treated every character in the fresco as an ordinary person. In the true story, Jesus and his apostles drink wine from the Holy Grail and eat bread. Let me tell you about the secrets of the Last Supper. Let's make you more surprised. The mirroring technique in Da Vinci's Last Supper painting is used to emphasize the composition and depth of the painting. The related technique makes the figures and objects in the table look more realistic and natural. As one of the painters of the Renaissance period, Da Vinci made his works using painting techniques such as perspective, light, and shadow to an extreme degree. In the Last Supper painting, he also created reflections of figures with mirroring technique, natural light, and shadow effects. The figure of Jesus in the middle of the painting, the reflections of the apostles and other characters behind it, are depicted as if on the surface of a mirror. The mirroring technique allows the figures and objects in the table to be reflected realistically. In this aspect, the painting is shown as an unorthodox work. Of course, there are issues that I need to explain other than just the works that he did. Let me present them to you. Considered one of the creators of bicycles, airplanes, helicopters, and parachutes, Da Vinci has designed many things from maps to machines and weapons, even fancy dress costumes. He even designed a canal to the Arno River to connect Florence to the sea. Da Vinci's drawings did not attract so much attention until they were brought to the Royal Library at Windsor Castle in the years 1830. Windsor's works were catalogued, his manuscripts were translated, and his versatile genius was recognized at that time. Martin Clayton, one of the curators of the royal collection, Leonardo used the lines to explore the world. His works are still in such a magnificent condition today, he says, as if they were painted yesterday. So what made the Da Vinci so special was that the characteristic of the Da Vinci was that he tried to understand and explain the unknowns of the universe with sketches, one of the greatest works of Leonardo. We can also express it as a helicopter or flying machine that is being used today in the 15th century. People thought that flying would only be possible by imitating birds. Da Vinci kept notes in his diaries at that time about how both humans and birds could fly. Da Vinci's machine had wings that were about 10 meters wide, and the wings were made of pine covered with raw silk to create a light but strong curtain effect when flapped. It is thought that the machine was most inspired by bats among flying creatures. Deck. But based on the idea of flying, there were many other machine ideas that he carried to the sketch pages. Helicopters and parachutes are the first of these. Although the helicopter was invented in the 1940s, it is believed that the drawings of this machine, which Da Vinci designed a spiral to rise into the air, are the first. The 15th. The late-century sketch, like many of Da Vinci's other ideas, was not implemented and tried. But his notes and drawings accurately described how such a device could work. And when we come to the end, let me tell you about the sad death of a person with such artifacts. Leonardo da Vinci is said to have died at the Château of Le Clos-Lucé in Amboise, France, on May 2, 1519, at the age of 70. It is assumed that he died of a stroke, but the actual cause of death is not clearly known. His death probably did not come as a surprise because he had prepared his will a week earlier. Leonardo da Vinci was buried in the cloister of the Saint-Florentin Church in Amboise. The tomb was destroyed during the Huguenot Wars, 1562-1598. Leonardo's remains have since been considered missing. Subsequent excavations on the church grounds uncovered bones believed to be the remains of Leonardo. These were moved to the Hubertus Chapel of the Amboise Castle, where Leonardo's presumed tomb is located today. Thank you for watching and listening so far. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel. We love you, dear viewers. See you soon.